Hey bro, I've got an exciting bit of content to share with you from Vegas. This was actually a virtual meeting with my inner circle group. If you haven't already, you can join this group completely for free. We share a lot of different ideas and I do a speech on different topics, so it's really exciting. If you want to join, you can click the link below in the description. And yeah, let's get right into this video. Yeah, all right. So yeah, the topic of this meeting is going to be night game, and mostly this is going to be about like how to attract girls in the nighttime, either inside bars or outside, like when you're walking around. Like for example, in Vegas, we have a lot of like casinos and stuff here where they have clubs as well in the hotels, and you can when you go into the casinos you see girls walking around, either about to go into the club or they're coming out of the club, or like they're going into bars, and it's pretty sick to meet people this way. So yeah, firstly I wanted to talk about that, about the nighttime and how to game in the nighttime, like the differences between nighttime and daytime. Yeah, so the best venue for nighttime is like the chill lounges where the music's not that loud and you can have conversation basically. So there are a lot of them in Vegas. It's like rooftop bars, chill kind of beach clubs. Like we went to this place called Marquee, and it was a club, but it had this huge outdoor place, and it was basically like a lounge, like a bar kind of lounge. If you went inside, it was like crazy busy, and like people were like sardines dancing everywhere. You come outside, and there was like a pool. It was more chill. It's easy to start conversation. And for me, because you guys know that I'm like more a fan of meeting girls in the daytime rather than in bars and stuff. But when I say daytime, I mean outside of clubs. But here in Vegas, it's actually so fun to go into like the bars, and I know some of you are fans of like going into bars. So I thought for this call we can actually talk about how to game in these venues, because in London, all around the world, we have bars where it's more chill, it's more relaxed, and it's not like too crazy where it's like a club. It's more like dance floor game. So yeah, so that's what we'll cover today. Do you guys have any questions before we go into that? Or if you want to share something? All right. So
from me, sounds good.
All right. So yeah, we can get right into it. Yeah. So the first thing about these places, especially when you're in a holiday destination, it's all about having fun. Right, people are here to enjoy themselves, have fun. Even when you're like in your home city, like in London, people go out to have fun, right? People are in the bar to enjoy themselves. They go out in the evenings, to socialize and have fun. So that's the number one thing you want to bring into the interaction is fun, right? Obviously, if you go out after work, you're not going to be in that state. And that's where you guys probably know already, is where you got to warm up properly. And the best way to warm up in these situations is just to go in with like a funny opener. Like my one is when you say, oh, excuse me, don't take this the wrong way, but can I marry you? That one works really well. Like for warm up, or even if you want to, take it further, it's pretty good. And then the second point is adventure, right? People, or girls especially, they want an adventure, right? And that's even more important when it comes to nighttime. They're out, they want kind of a emotionally stimulating, experience, right? Obviously in the daytime that's true as well, but it's even more important in the night because there's so much stimulation going on already. And that's why you have to come in with a bit more energy and a bit more passion, to give her that experience. And then the third point is social, right? As I mentioned, obviously this is social environment. Funny, in actually in Vegas, well, in America in general, I think in the West Coast, people are super, super social. So it's so easy to strike up conversation. It's like, it's actually, you know, it's easier to start up conversation than not to, with guys, with girls, with everyone. So that's one thing you want to remember, is when you go out to these bars, I know some of you are like that already, you want to socialize with everyone, right? You want to be the kind of person that is there to get to know people. You're not there just to hit on the hot girl, right? That's one thing that you want to implement when you go to bars, is to speak to everyone. And what's funny is, everyone kind of knows what's going on in a bar. Everyone can see what's going on. That's actually one of the biggest difference between the nighttime and the daytime, is that in the night, people can see what's going on in the bar. So if you just hit on the hot girls, you know, like some pickup guys, that's what they do, right? They just go in their place, and then what they do, you just go from one girl to the next and to the next and to the next. And what happens is, people can see that. You know, if you get rejected from a girl, everyone can see, oh, you got rejected. So your value now is like basically zero. So you've lost value in that venue. That's the difference between if you approach a girl in the daytime, like on the street, is if you get rejected, the next girl that you're gonna approach, she didn't see that you got rejected. Whereas in the nighttime, people can see that. So that obviously is you know, it's a disadvantage, but you can use it in your favor. And what I mean by that is, you can talk to a girl, right? And you don't get rejected, by the way, in bars. You don't get like blowouts or anything like that. It's very rare in a bar. And if it does happen, when you come out, they don't know that you got rejected, right? So when you leave the interaction, you just gotta smile like it was the best interaction you ever had. And that tells the people in the room is that, oh, you just said something funny and left, right? But if you walk out of that interaction looking looking all like sad and stuff, like you just got rejected, then everyone's gonna know, okay, well, you know, this guy just had a shit interaction, so I need to watch out for him. If he approaches me, I'm gonna blow him out as well. So that's that. Do you guys have any questions on that?
Yeah, quick one.
Yeah.
So I totally get it in the US. Like this is exactly the same experience I had as well. Like it's super easy to get into conversation with people and make friends, like within minutes, literally. But do you find it's the same in London? I mean, I haven't been out like during the nighttime for a while, but like when I used to go out, like let's say before 2020, I always found it a little bit awkward to talk to people.
Yeah, that's a good point. So London is mixed, because with London you have people that are very social and they want to chat, and then you have people that they're not into that headspace, not social headspace, because that's just the London vibe. So it's a mix. I would say it's mixture. But having said that, everyone wants to meet people when they go out in the evening, right? So yeah, they might not be, you know, into it that much at first, but it's your job to get them into it, especially if it's a hot girl, right? You might approach it. That's what I noticed about here, by the way, is that when you approach hot girls, they're just super into it, but they're not actually into it. They're just like social, right? Yeah. So yeah, so that's the thing. It's about you kind of getting her into that headspace. You know, if it's a hot girl in London and she's not into it, because that's happened to all of us, right? You got to persist and you've got to do the work, and then soon she will warm up to you. It's kind of like, it's funny because, you know, like Russian girl, they're like the complete opposite of the American. Like Americans, they just want to chat. Russians, they're just like to the point. So I guess in London, that's what it is, right? We have like a mixture of American and a mixture of Russian. It's like a in between, and your strategy depends on that person. But yeah, to answer your question, you've just got to go to the right venues. The right venues is important, and yeah, and just to interact with people. And if someone's not into it, well, you know, that's the problem. You go to the next one. So that's what I would say there.
Got it.
Yeah. And then one thing actually I was gonna say here is that for night game, what I noticed is your energy is extremely important. And because obviously I teach clients in the daytime and I'm quite busy in the daytime, my energy usually goes down in the night. So what I found that really works for me is naps. So I have naps in the like afternoon, late afternoon, and I realized that really increases my energy in the nighttime. So that's one thing I would recommend, is to get some rest in the maybe late afternoon, so that when you go out in the evening, your energy really shoots up. You know, without using like external substances like caffeine or alcohol. So that's actually a key
Can I
trick.
ask one question there?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so you know when we talk about like alcohol and energy and things like that.
Yeah.
So let's say the girl has had 3 drinks. Do you feel like maybe it's not a bad idea to have 1 or 2 just so you're, I guess, somewhat matching her in terms of your state level? Or you think it's completely fine to do it like completely sober in that scenario?
You mean on a date?
No. So if you're going on a night out, so like a few days ago, I was with a wing and some girl invited him to some rooftop bar in Oldgate.
Okay.
Now we'd been day gaming, so we were tired. Our energy was a bit dry, and we rocked up at the venue, and the girls had already had a few drinks. They were like not drunk, but they were quite tipsy, and you know we weren't very warm. We were a bit like dry, and it didn't really work to our favor. So, like, if you're, let's say, going to, let's say, a club, a lounge, or a bar for the like intended purpose of hitting on girls, do you think it's a good idea to have some pre-drinks beforehand? Obviously, you don't want to get completely wasted, but like if they're like in a tipsy state, maybe it's just a thought. Like you know, maybe you need to be on that level as well. I don't know.
What I would say is it's fine to have like 1 or 2 drinks, but what I found with myself is whenever I have 1 or 2 drinks, I always want more. So I'll have one and I'll be like, oh, I'm just gonna have one, and then I have another one, I'm like, oh, it's just another one, and then next thing you meet like an attractive girl, and then now you have another drink, and then before you know it, you're like drunk. Right? And then the night becomes this like whatever, this blur, right? And then the next day you've probably made a mistake because you were so drunk, right? And then you go home, one thing, you can't analyze yourself. You can't think back and be like, oh, what mistakes did I make? Because you're so drunk. And then the next day you wake up, you probably have a hangover, and you think back and you're like, fuck, that was a blur. Like, I don't even know what mistakes I made. Having said that, I know some people that they have like a lot of alcohol and they're just completely like switched on. I'm not that type of person. So that's why I don't drink. But if I do, yes, like 1 is fine. Now what I do actually is I have these non-alcoholic beer, so it looks like alcohol. So the girl thinks you're drinking alcohol. It's quite cool. But I personally think if you're trying to improve in night game, it's better not to drink alcohol because it's kind of a shortcut to confidence and to like, you know, to kind of kill your anxiety. But yeah, if you have 1 or 2, it's fine. It's not like it's not a big deal.
Cool.
But one thing is good is to act a bit like tipsy when you're out. I noticed that's quite cool to do. Because in the nighttime, it's fine, right? It's actually, if you say, oh, I'm not drinking alcohol, people are like, oh, he doesn't want to have fun. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so you kind of become that anti-social, like, you know, person. But what I found is if you act a little bit tipsy, that actually gives you a little bit more confidence as well. You can like get away with doing more funny stuff. You don't take like the whole thing too seriously. So I guess the idea of like being a bit tipsy is good, but actually drinking alcohol is probably not good. Especially in Vegas, man. The drinks are so expensive here. It's insane. It's like I don't know, $30 for like a cocktail or something. Yeah, so it probably saves you money as well, which is good.
For sure.
Yeah, the other thing I was gonna say is you always want to prepare your room for bringing girls back. right? Whenever you go out, make sure you prepare your room, because what was funny is I was actually going out. This was on Friday in the morning, and we were about to, because we did a boot camp here on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Friday I was going out, and I looked at my room, and I was like, oh well, I'm not going to bring any girls back tonight, because we're doing like the whole day we're going to be coaching, and then I'm probably not even going to have time to bring girls back. But I decided to prepare the room anyway, to make it look good and everything. I was like, all right, you never know, there's a 0.1% chance. So prepared the room, made it look nice, and went out. And then this girl texted me from the night before. She was like, oh, like, how's your holiday going and stuff like that. Anyway, cut this story short. Met them that night. We did like this strip game. It was so funny, man. We did strip club game in Vegas. And then after that finished, I met the girls, and I brought them back to the apartment. Well, not the apartment, the house. We had like a house with all the coaches, and I brought them back there. And I was thinking, man, I was in my mind, I was thinking, there's no, like, I'm not going to bring anyone back tonight. But yeah, I did. And that's one thing I learned. It's like, always prepare your room for bringing a girl back, because when they got back, they were really impressed. The room looked tidy, it looked good. And it makes them feel comfortable, you know. The worst thing you want to do is bring a girl back and your room is just like fucked, right? Has that ever happened to you guys, where you go to a girl's place and it's just so dirty and you're thinking, what the fuck? Like, this girl is so attractive, but like her room is just insanely, dirty, and it just brings their value down a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened to me in Prague.
Yeah.
So I was with,
Yeah.
and we didn't really make much of an effort with the room. And so, like, our luggage was all over the place, the clothes were all over the place. And the second day there, I had a failed SDL. And I basically persisted. I brought the girl back to my place, and one of the first things she said, she's like, it's a bit messy in here.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah. And then what happened was as I was on the eye date, I buy a bottle of wine, but he fucked it up. He bought a really shit bottle of wine.
Oh shit.
So she had a sip and she was like, I don't like this, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, 10 minutes later, she was gone.
No way.
So, yeah, that was on the second day.
There you go. That's proof, right? So what did we learn from that? You got to tidy your room and you got to buy good alcohol.
Yeah. So, like, and the thing is, you have to realize a lot of the time, like, your successes will happen when you least expect them.
Yeah.
Right? So it's never good to have the mentality, oh, it's not going to happen today, because often when you're, like, not prepared for something, you might get an opening. So, always keep your house in order, be a bit hygienic, be a bit clean, don't live like a pig. So, yeah, I agree. This is, Tony Hustle calls it passive frame control.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so, kind of having everything pre-planned.
Yeah.
Knowing the venues, having your logistics in order, like, just make sure that everything's sorted, because you really do never know when you might strike gold, right?
Yeah, totally. That's really important to know the plan and stuff, especially when you're going on a date.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good point. Yeah, so obviously the hotel I'm staying, they have a lot of like bars and restaurants and stuff downstairs. So it's pretty easy to bounce the girls back and then bring them up to the room. But if you're staying wherever in Prague, what you got to do is make sure you figure out the logistics. So okay, I'm going to bounce her to this bar, and then from this bar I'm going to bounce her to the room. So as you said, it's all pre-planned and everything. It's funny, man, because you think like, oh no, I don't want to jinx it, I just want to go out and if it happens, it happens. But what I found, especially from this experience, is that it's always better to be prepared, even though like you might be going out and you're just feeling tired and you're thinking, all I'm going to do is just 5 approaches and I'm going to come back and sleep, right? you still never know. So it's always good to be prepared.
Yeah, for sure.
So one thing I realized is whenever you strike a conversation with a hot girl, or you open them, is they go into this kind of default chit chat mode where because especially in the West Coast, you kind of have it with everyone. You go into the taxi, they just want to chat. You go into whatever coffee shop, restaurant, everyone wants to chat and stuff. And the problem with that is you get into this kind of chit chat mode, right? That's what I realized, especially with my American clients, is that they go into this chit chat mode and they kind of forget about attraction, right? And I realize sometimes that happens to me as well, because you get used to just going into this mode. It's like where you ask them whatever, where they're from or whatever, where they grow up, and it's more like comfort. So what I wanted to say here is, if you do meet a girl that's whatever social and she wants to get to know you, let me just see what Nico said. Yeah, I think it's important to spike strongly at some point to filter out the time wasters. Some Americans would just chat on and be friendly. Yeah, exactly. Well, I wouldn't say they're not romantically interested in you, but what I would say is it's your job to actually get them romantically interested in you, right? Because, yeah, as Nico said here, you go into this chit chat, this American kind of being friendliness, and it just doesn't go anywhere, right? And that's what I found happens here quite often. So instead, what I do now is I quickly go into attraction, right? You want to forget about this chit chat, nice guy stuff. And obviously in London, it's not as much as like that as it is here. But I've still had situations where that happens, where you talk to someone and they're just super friendly and you kind of forget about game. You're like, oh, she's just into me. Like, I don't need to do any game, right? And then next thing you know, you go for the close and she's like, oh, sorry, I'm not interested. And you're like, fuck, like, I thought this one, she just liked me straight away and I didn't need to do all of that stuff. Yeah, so that's another point I wanted to mention. And then, yeah, the last thing I wanted to say in terms of night game was, it's so easy when it comes to night game to skip comfort and to just go straight into the bedroom, right? Because you can do it. And this is what I did actually last night, and that's why I wanted to share this experience with you guys. So, met this girl in a bar, and I approached her. It was super actually easy opener. I said, is this the best bar in Vegas? And we had a bit of a conversation, like 10 minutes. And then basically what happened is she had just left her friend. Her friend, they were having dinner, and her friend, I think, felt like she was sick or something. So she went home, and the girl I met, she was by herself. Met her, then bounced her to this water show in Bellagio. Bounced her to the Bellagio, went to another bar. We spent about 45 minutes in that bar. And then I bounced her to the room, right? So I didn't do comfort properly. And I thought, oh, you know what? I don't need to do, I don't need to spend that much time with her. Let me just bounce her straight to my room. That's one thing I was going to say here. With nighttime, because of whatever, the presence of alcohol, and it's just generally, it's more like adventurous vibe. So it's easy to bounce them quickly. But you want to make sure that you do comfort properly. And what I mean by that is you want to make sure that you really get to know her. You let her know that you like her. And she kind of invest in the interaction. Because if you skip that, obviously there are times, and I've done it before, and I'm sure you guys have as well, is there are times where she's just up for it, and and you want to take that risk and do it quickly, right? That's totally fine. But what I found is most of the time you want to play it more safe and do the comfort part properly, so that it's guaranteed. It's the lay is guaranteed, rather than be like, oh, you know, I want to pull her within half an hour, which is fun, which is obviously, you know, we all know it's an amazing experience, but it's not solid. It's not solid game. Hope you enjoyed watching this video from Las Vegas. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel and press the little bell button as well, so every time I release a video like this one, you get notified first. And also join the Inner Circle group. It's free. You get a lot of value, a lot of content that's going to make you much more attractive.